Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Thanks for tuning in. Today this is going to be an exploration of nibs. So some of you may have seen my 992 video where a gentleman in, I think it's Ohio, Mike, was grinding the nibs on the 992 into a kind of a cursive italic grind, and I got one. I really enjoyed it. So I developed a dialogue with him and I sent him some nibs to work on, and we're going to take a look at how one of those is going to work. So I love these Knox nibs from Birmingham Pens. So he ground it to a left oblique. I asked him for a 30-degree angle. And if we look at this nib, we can see that it is a grind, and it is at that angle. It's called left oblique because the angle is this way. You know, explained to me is pointing to your left foot. And when you write as a right-hander and you drag the pen this way at this type of an angle, that should give you some nice line characteristics. So we're going to write with this Lecai pen because I kind of really enjoy this pen, and it's become a workhorse for me. One of the things that people talk about is how many turns does it take to take the cap off. So let's do it real time. So there's one, and it's like 1 3/4. So people have talked about it sometimes taking more than that, and let's take a look at one that does. So I didn't know how long the Lecai pens were going to be around, so I ordered some, and I'd like to play around with them, so I got 2 of them, and these came in these nice little plastic sleeves. You know, kind of good if you're throwing it in your pocket or your purse or your bag or whatever. So let's take a look at how many turns this one takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 turns. So I just find that amazing. My friend Bobby says that there's a new version of this one coming out, so I'll definitely take a look at it when it comes out. But I guess I lucked out on the first one that I got that unscrews in less than 2 turns. For those of you that may not have seen my first video on this pen, it fits nicely in the hand. It posts well. You can see how that ink color is reflected at the top of the barrel. I mean, it's just a very, very well designed, well engineered, well manufactured pen. It posts nice and securely. And let's just see how the regular medium nib that came with the pen writes. I've been very happy with this nib. This is Robert Oster Frankly Blue, and it just does a good job. I mean, there's no reason to me to swap this nib unless there's something particular that you want. But, you know, I want to see how the number 5 Knox double broad oblique ground to a left oblique, how that's going to work in this pen. So we're going to swap nibs and take a look at it. It was very easy to pull out the nib and feed with my gripper and replace it with this Knox number 5. I mean, it was a no-brainer. As you can see, it fits very nicely with that feed. So I've written with this a little bit, and I don't want any drama here, but I'm just totally impressed. You can see that the horizontal line now is finer, as fine as it was originally, but your vertical is a lot wider. So this has natural line variation, and it's fairly smooth. which sometimes when you get a grind on a nib like this, it has some sharp edges, but Mike did an excellent job at grinding it exactly. I mean, this is as good as Mike Massiamo's grind or Binder's grind or any of the other Nibmeisters out there. So I'm very impressed. And this now has turned this Lecai into a whole new writing experience. It's elevated it quite a bit. Just want to put that in perspective to some other pens with this similar type of nib. I've done videos before where I've swapped this Knox nib into other pens. So the 992 just has a number 5 broad in it, and this 323 has the number 6 oblique double broad. As you can see, it is wet. So this is just a standard OBB nib. I think the feed on the Pen BBS is a very, very good feed. I've talked about it before. The nib fits just right. So this is the number 6 versus the number 5. But as you notice what you had up here, this one, the cross strokes are, medium, like the original nib was, and the verticals are a little bit bigger, but I was never really impressed with this being an oblique nib. I like it as a nib. It is certainly extremely smooth, but so is the one that's been ground. But as you can see, the line variation is pretty good. And in case you're asking what this ink is, this is Robert Oster $10 blue, which I like all the $10 ink. So that's how things look, and I'm just extremely happy with how things are progressing. And now I have a Nibmeister that I can send some nibs to when I want to get some work done on them and get great results. So we're just going to put something in perspective. So this is the 992 with a number 6 broad. And this is Roher & Klinger sepia ink in here. And this pen sat for a month, and I took the cap off and it wrote immediately, which I've always been impressed with the 992s. So let's go up here and compare this nib. As you can see, the horizontal strokes are pretty good. They're about the size of the other ones, and your downstrokes are not quite as wide, this is where the oblique comes in on this one, but certainly not as dramatic as you get with the nib that's been ground. So hopefully this has been interesting for those of you that are into nibs. It's one way to really change a personality of a pen, and I'm really happy to have found a nice source of Knox nibs for a very reasonable price, and found someone who can grind some interesting character into them. There's more nibs I need to review that I've gotten ground, but I wanted to give you this quick look at this one. So one of the things to keep in mind is if you're going to have the pen in a weird angle, it may not write. But if you keep it at this type of an angle, it just writes extremely well. So again, very pleased. It fits good in the Lecai. It really, the feed keeps up fine. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed another interesting journey into the wonderful world of nibs and the pens that carry them and the ink that they put down on paper. So have many, many great, excellent, exceptional, stimulating pen experiences. This is the end. Until the next video, we will say bye. Nice ink flow, good color.